Hello and welcome to this coffee break. I do have my coffee, and today, why I wanted to make this video? It's because I see a lot of engineers who believe that complexity or time spent on a project is kind of valuable, or they can charge more on that project if they are freelance, if they are contractor. Indeed, we are being paid hourly, usually for our time spent, but the time the client doesn't care. The complexity or how good is the application. If it works, it's very important. But how good the patterns you have used, they don't really care. But now it's important for you to maintain. They will see, oh, adding a new feature, why it takes that long? It's because it wasn't well maintained previously, and now it's taking longer and longer. That's crucial. That's extremely important. That's why, as a software engineer, we know what kind of design patterns to use and what kind of better data structure to use to make our application, our software more efficient. But again, complexity, it doesn't matter for the end customer. It's about the value we give. And when we estimate the complexity of an application or the time spent, it depends also of the experience of the person who is working on the project. It depends on the ability, if that person knows already quite well the project or not. It depends on a lot of factors. Context switching, like now I will have my coffee, that's perfect. And it's important to have breaks. It's important to time box your time. Like you can use Pomodoro, you can split a task into smaller tasks to be more efficient. And this is like Pomodoro. You will time box a small feature you have to develop, like 45 minutes, and then you have a coffee break. But why I'm speaking about this is because, indeed, when we are too tired, when we have so many context switchings, that means like we get distracted and we cannot be focused anymore. We are being defocused because of something. Or it could be mental load, mental load, pressure, pressure at work, pressure everywhere, personal life, and the mental clutter, the mental load can have a quite negative impact. Yeah, even drastically negative on your focus, on your concentration, and so the time spent will be longer, and maybe you will not do it correctly from the first time. You will not understand very well because you are elsewhere. Your brain is elsewhere. And all of these factors, they are very important to take into account. You have probably noticed this. One day you wake up, you have so much good positive energy, and you finish everything in like 2 hours. And normally it takes 5 hours if you have a lot of mental loads. And again, ability, time management, the experience, like I said, and it could be also the approach you'd use. There are a lot of different factors that would change a specific given task. If you already have experience there, if you know already what would be the right approach, someone else might not. If you have, if your communication skills is good and you like communicating, maybe you will avoid confusions, and so you will know right away what to do because you communicated with a client. It's not because a client doesn't give a lot of information that you shouldn't have more information. It's just that the client didn't give enough information, probably. So always ensure that everything is clear on your side before starting a project. And that's also about the quality, but the value you will give as a software engineer and the the way you will solve the problem using the right approach with the best user experience, using the most appropriate technology, that matters the most. I will continue my little coffee time. And if you would like to, you can also just pause this video and make a coffee, cook a coffee. I like saying cooking a coffee. I think it's a good, I don't know. Yeah, I'm cooking a coffee. I make a coffee anyways. So you see, like there are a lot of factors, and that's also for you to improve yourself. Regardless if you are a freelancer, a software engineer, data scientist, it's always about understanding the project from your client and how much value, how well you can achieve that project, how you can make that project into like reality, how you can turn an idea into something that works exactly the right way. And it's nothing about the complexity, it's nothing about the time spent, it's really about the way you think. And again, you will gain these experiences over time, like the ability to first maybe draw a wireframe, a mock-up if you need to, depending on the project. Then also organizing your time well. You know, maybe, oh, morning, I'm way more focused for something very complex. Again, complexity, but it depends on the project, like something where I really have to build something. And then afternoon is better for meetings. You know, distractions are not good for efficiency and for productivity. So you will have to move meetings in the afternoon. And that's also a way you would have to, to set a rule. Like people will know, oh yes, this person like Pierre, he's not available in the morning. Why? Because he's working and he knows that his hours is super important. Otherwise, the work will not be delivered on time and maybe the quality will suffer too. Because you can be in an open space where everybody reaches you, you can still finish your work on time, but does the quality will still be the same? Not too sure, and everybody is different there. So respecting the time of each other is also super important. And starting by already knowing what you will build in the morning, like, okay, now I know on what file I have to dig. Like there was an issue yesterday in my case. Usually when I have my shower in the morning, I think about what I will start at work, where I will start. Like, okay, I will open my laptop, open the lid, I will plug it to the monitor, and then I will go to like VS Code, and I know exactly what file, what commit needs to be done, where I need to start digging from yesterday. And I prepare myself mentally in the shower when I'm still at home. And that helps a lot to directly, because I visualize the beginning of my day directly when I arrive at work. I know what has to be done. I know what I have to do because I prepare myself. And then I will start my work and I will start my day very quickly, not thinking, oh, I'm in front of my computer. What did I do yesterday again? Oh, I forgot. No, I know right away and I'm already in the right mood. And that's also super important. And then finally, I know it doesn't work for everybody, but I also found that fasting works as well on my productivity. Fasting for like 10, 12, 10, 12 hours is easy because of, the night when you sleep. But 16 hours, that was the time usually recommended, 16 to 18 hours. It's there are a lot of studies there, and it's something I highly recommend you if you can do. we are not all the same, we are not all equal, and fortunately we are not, but 16 to 18 hours. Usually we would fast for like 12 hours in average, because again, when we sleep like 7 hours is the recommended time to sleep. I mean, between 6:30 to 7:30, and I would say 6:30 is still not enough. So 7 to 7:30, then let's say it's better to not, like your dinner, the last meal of the day, it's better to not have it later than 8 p.m. 8 p.m. the latest. In my case, I eat slowly. Normally, a meal takes like 1 hour, so it's nice to organize not eating like if you the 2 last hours before to go to bed, you don't eat anything, and then in the morning, in my case, I have like a cup of water, and then like room temperature glass of water, and then I start my day, and later on I have a coffee, but I know what might impact my productivity. I know if I have a too heavy meal after, it will be harder for me to be as productive as I was before, even though I was very hungry. When you're hungry, when you're starving, well, you can eat, of course, you should. But if you eat way too much because you're so hungry, especially if you go to a buffet, well, after you feel so heavy and you cannot work anymore, or it's harder, and then you fall asleep. So it's also about knowing yourself. And I know we all know ourselves, but we still do the same mistakes. And I found out that time is so priceless. Time doesn't come back. So when we spend 3 hours instead of 1 hour on a project, first, we are wasting 2 hours for the company. Like the company, we know we could be faster, and so it's not really respectful for the company and or for our client. It depends if you are if you are employed by a company or if you are a freelancer contractor, but it's also your responsibility to be more efficient with your time. And second, well, for your self-esteem, like spending more time than you would normally need, it's not very it's not very wise. Like, you can be much wiser by knowing yourself and by preventing bad choices, bad decisions. So yes, life is priceless. So start today by knowing what to do, how you can provide as like the greatest value to the client, even if it takes only 20 minutes, but just by understanding extremely well what the client needs, and then you will be able to provide the best solution from there. I wish you a beautiful day. I wish you a beautiful, like learning, researching, and again, keep learning, keep applying what you learn right away. And if the job right now where you work, you cannot really apply what you just learned, and you really wanted to learn that new skill set, well, then create a side project. Build a side project where you will be able to apply this knowledge, like the beautiful knowledge you just learned. It will be sad if you don't use it, because after you just forget it over time. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So see you in another video. Bye bye.